Alright, so y'all already know a lot of people have come to my channel and dismissed cloning. They say cloning isn't real. Well, I want y'all to watch this video with me. My subscribers and my detractors. Researchers clone horse using decade-old DNA. RT America. I'm going to point out some details.
Okay, a little baby horse born last month has not only become an example of just how amazing science is, but also a symbol that there is hope for endangered species. Now, scientists have successfully cloned this rare horse using genetic material cryopreserved from 40 years ago. Farron Franzak brings us that report.
Y'all heard that, right?
From 40 years ago. Preserved from 40 years ago. Rare horse using genetic material cryopreserved from 40 years ago.
They used genetic material cryo-reserved from 40 years ago. Now, I'm going to tell y'all early in the video, all you have to do is take this horse out of your mind and replace it with a human and realize they're doing the exact same thing to humans. It's as simple as that. So if they have a horse's DNA cryo-reserved from 40 years ago, they also have human DNA cryo-reserved from who knows how many years ago. So let's keep watching.
Farron Franzak brings us that report.
A miracle in science nearly 40 years in the making. The Przewalski horse is considered the last species of true wild horses, having never been domesticated. While they are the distant cousin of domesticated horses, now they're endangered. Nearly all Przewalski horses can be traced back 500,000 years ago to 12 of these horses, all born to its original habitat, Mongolia. Today, 3,400 miles across the globe in Texas, what was once endangered is now making a comeback. Meet Kurt, a Przewalski horse born August 6, 2020, that was cloned by the company Viagen and Equine.
August 6, 2020, they cloned a horse. The date is important because, I don't know, people seem to think that's impossible today. It's impossible to clone anything, as far as I know. I guess that's what these people think. There's some shit that been cloned 2 months ago. They said it themselves. Believe it or not.
Were unimaginable a decade ago, and we're very excited.
Kurt is the genetic clone of another Przewalski horse that lived from 1975 to 1998 at the San Diego Zoo.
So this horse died in 1998. They still got the DNA cryo-reserved and used the DNA to create the same horse.
In 1980, the zoo realized they had one of these rare horses with good genes, so they took a genetic sample and froze it. Since there's hardly...
You see, they planned to clone this horse in 1980. They cloned the horse August 6, 2020. So like they said, 40 years in the making. It was all premeditated. They knew they either could do the cloning back then and they just didn't decide to do it until now, or maybe they just had a breakthrough like they trying to pass off in this video right here. You seen it say clone breakthrough in the title at first. But I don't believe that. I think they've been knowing how to do this for a long time. They're just trying to pretend that they just figured this out.
Any Przewalski horses left, inbreeding can cause abnormalities, something Viagen says they can fix.
Technology like ours allows the introduction of new diverse genes so that future generations of Przewalski horses can now be healthier and benefit from the diversity of genetics that Kurt will bring.
So how did Viagen get involved with saving endangered species?
We had this experience and that we clearly were operating in a manner that allowed us to efficiently use recipients and eggs and those things. And we're quite impressed with the track record and the knowledge base that we've developed over time.
What has Viagen developed over time? A strategy of winning.
Y'all see what he said? That's all they need is the eggs and a few other things. They use a few elements and pull this off.
With saving endangered species.
We had this experience and that we clearly were operating in a manner that allowed us to efficiently use recipients and eggs and those things. And we're quite impressed with the track record and the knowledge base that we've developed over time.
What has Viagen developed over time? A strategy of winning, as seen in the case of World Championship polo player Adolfo Cambriaso of Argentina, who is still winning championships around the world thanks to his third cloned championship horse, all done by Viagen. But also,
I've had 30 plus pets, and I've never had such...
Y'all heard that? This man cloned his whole horse just to keep winning races. So they clone something, then the clone is going to have the same genetic makeup. It's going to have the same skills. That it's going to be like you literally had what you already had in the first place. Like, nothing changes. The horse was talented before and the clone talented. This is why they do that in Hollywood. You got, what's his name? General Patton, I believe. I'm pretty sure Trump is his clone. So whatever talent General Patton had, they just created another one, which is Trump. And, you know what I'm saying? I guess he know how to get people riled up, know how to divide and conquer. So they keep creating these Hollywood figures over and over because they know for a fact that a person with this genetic makeup knows how to get money. They got certain talents that other people don't have. They know how to get people's attention, and et cetera, et cetera. Everything that comes with being a celebrity.
a strong, immediate connection with a pet as I do with Jelly, Angel's clone.
That's right, cloning Fido and Fluffy, the family cat and dog. It's a double take for some, but not for Jay Jackson, who's going on his second round of his original two pooches.
It's like deja vu, going back 12 years when the original Angel and Casper were alive.
And you really have to love your dog and cat in order to get them cloned. Loving them a whole $50,000 worth in order to go from old Yeller to new Yeller. Which is why many agility trainers and dogs that have won Best in Show nowadays, they're a carbon copy to keep those good genes going.
Once again, they clone these animals so they can have the same talent the last animal had. They put them back in the dog show or whatever, and they win the shit over and over. They gonna have the same talent, the same brain. They're gonna be smart as the original copy was. So why wouldn't they do this same shit with singers, actors, ball players, etc., etc.? You gonna get the same fucking product every time if you cloning somebody with a certain genetic makeup. So that's what they do. So they always know what they working with. They know what they dealing with. They ain't gotta keep finding strangers and hope they pan out. They just clone what they already have, and they know what they gonna get every time. You clone Michael Jackson, you gonna get another fucking Michael Jackson. You know he gonna be a star. You know he gonna be able to sing. You know he gonna be able to dance. And it goes for whatever they want to clone. It's the same shit.
So when is it a good time to clone?
The age of the dog does not have an effect on the quality of the biopsy and therefore the quality of the cloned puppy.
But what about if your dog has cancer or a pre-existing condition? Does it transfer to the clone?
That cloned puppy will be born as an identical twin to the original. And so that's an important conversation for the client to have with their veterinarian in terms of how much of my dog's problems are associated with his genetics versus his environment.
So what about personality?
When we give you a cloned puppy or kitten, it isn't automatically stamped with exactly the same behaviors and personalities as the donor. So many of those traits will be impacted by the environment that you place that puppy or kitten into.
A common misconception, Russell.
Now, the environment is very important. It's they have controlled environments though. They can put these clones in controlled environments to where they know that I got it in a certain environment is gonna come out the same as the original copy. So that's not much of a big deal. The environment can be controlled once you got a carbon copy. Everything after that is pure gold. You don't got to worry about too much if you got a carbon copy of what you had and you got a controlled environment, the perfect environment to put it in, especially when you know what environment the original copy was already in. You just gotta, it's not hard to duplicate that. The hard part was getting a carbon copy.
Says is that clones don't live very long. This seen by the first cloned sheep, Dolly, who only lived 6 years. However, Russell says Dolly died of a disease many other sheep died from that year. So when it comes to clones and if they live long, Russell says they can, and they do.
With Angel, that's definitely true. I see her right here. She's living, she's breathing, and her legacy lives on.
For RT, I'm Farron Franzak.
Well, there it is. Like I said, all you have to do is transfer all of the information that they gave you in this video when it comes to cloning animals and put a human in the place of the animal. And now tell me why they wouldn't be able to pull this shit off. Don't humans got fucking DNA? Yeah. I know it's a stupid question, but that's how people need to be talked to when they dealing with this type of shit and they think it's impossible. They froze the DNA basically and then had it for 40 years sitting somewhere in a fucking freezer, I guess. And like I said, 40 years later, they got the same damn horse. So they could do the same shit with humans. All you have to do is freeze human DNA rather than animal DNA. Just transfer everything they said about the animal, put a human in its place. But let me know what y'all think about this. Like and subscribe. Tell me y'all theories in the comments. It's hard to deny it at this point, man. I'm gonna keep doing what I gotta do to show y'all that this shit is actually going on, man. They cloning motherfuckers out here. Animals, food, humans. I'm pretty sure they cloning everything you could think of.